Well, good afternoon, family. This is the Talented 10 Coach Jay coming back at you with some more nuggets. If you will be open to receive. Last time we talked about getting beneficiaries' name. We talked about life insurance, getting life insurance in the event of you passing away, especially before you reach these financial goals that you want to reach. So we're going to go back to talking about John and Jill. John and Jill, they have a son now, John Jr., and they went ahead and invested $35,000 into either a 529 account or a custodial brokerage account. And then we know that if they put that money straight into the custodial brokerage account, $35,000, when John Jr. is born and got a Social Security number, at the age of 18, that money will go over to him. He's considered an adult, and that money will now be in his control, whatever that amount is at that time. So we're going to say that John Jr., he's gonna ride it out, just let it ride out, because the parents have been talking to him at the dinner table, and they constantly talk to him about money. They talk about money matters. They talk about building generational wealth. They talking about wealth for himself. So John Jr. He's well abreast that, hey, I need to hold on to this money to whatever a dollar amount. Maybe you want to start taking it out, using some of it at the age of 40, 35, 40, 50. But he knows that this money is going to compound, and it's designed to allow him to enjoy life on top, and to enjoy life without exchanging his time for money. That's the end goal, is for him to get to a point where he's no longer exchanging his time for money. He's buying his freedom. The parents are buying his freedom right now, as far as being in that corporate world, if he doesn't want to be there, and he can start doing something perhaps that he really has a passion for, instead of just looking at earning a high income to supply his day-to-day expenses, his year-to-year expenses. So if they invested this $35,000 one-time deal, and they got the grandparents to help out, so it's no burden on one person to put this money in, that if it compound over 60-year period, from 0 to 60, at the age of 60, he starts saying, okay, I'm gonna start drawing this money out. That money is turned into he's a 10 bagger, $10 million, $10,656, $10,656,857.37 to be exact. That's the 10%, and this is in an index fund, so we know the fees are low. Therefore, a lot of this money is compounded for him. So once again, that's one scenario. The second scenario we talked about was John Jr. Getting his money into a custodial 559 college savings account. And the beauty of this account is, with the new Secure 2.0 Act of 2022, after 15 years of this account being open, and once again, it's 35 that's been put into that, and over a 18-year period, say he's 18 years old now, 10% compound rate of return, rate of growth. And remember, in some states, you got a triple tax advantage. You got you got a tax benefit going in, and it grows tax-free. And then when you pull it out for qualified educational expenses, it's tax-free as well. That's a wonderful benefit. John Jr. has not done anything to invest in this, but his parents deemed that we want to build this generational wealth. So let's say after 15 years, you got to have the money in there 15 years in order to activate this new thing that Congress put into place. So a lot of people are running away from the 529 accounts because they said, we don't know if our child's even going to go to college, and we don't want to be penalized if we got to pull this money out after we've been investing all these years. So Congress, under the Secure 2.0 Act of 2022, President Biden, on December 29th, he signed a bill inside of this omnibus bill. It's the Secure 2.0 Act of 2022. Once again, it was signed 29 December 2022, that under section, I believe it's 110. I have to go back and fact check that, but I believe it's either one. I'm getting these running together, either 110 or 126. People can the beneficiary of this 529 can roll over up to $35,000 lifetime into a Roth IRA. Once again, all this money is tax-free. So when that money continues to grow, once you roll it over, all that $35,000, when they go to take it out at the age of 59 and a half, general rule, it's all tax-free. It's all tax-free. So let's walk the dog on it again. So we put $35,000 in at 10% compound growth, and we let it grow for 18 years. $42,784.54 on a 10% compound growth. We roll that money, start rolling that money over, and then I'm sorry, that money's a lot more than that. Back up, scratch that. For 18 on that $35,000 at 10% compound growth, starting at 0 to 18, that money grows to $194,597.11. Okay, now we start at the age of 18 each year, and if it's the year of 2024, John has to work and make at least $7,000 if he wants to start rolling over the max into his Roth IRA. That's the most you can put into a Roth IRA this year. But once again, the person who's rolling it over has to make that much money. If they only made $5,000 a year, that's all he can roll over into his Roth IRA that year. So let's do the math on it. So he started rolling this money over $7,000 a year. Let's assume that it doesn't go up, that you can put in. We know it'll be indexed for inflation. So John started rolling this money over, and by the 5th year, he's doing it 5 times, 5 years, and we're doing it by month. That's about $583.33, which is a total of $7,000 a year. But we're doing it by month, and with our calculation on a 10% rate of return, by the time he rolled that money over, now his Roth IRA from that money has grown to $42,784.54. That's where I got that from. So if he decide, hey, that's good enough for me, parents have done all the heavy lifting for me, I'm gonna let it roll from the age of 22 to the age of 60, 38 years. That money, 10% compound growth, is $1.6 million. We're just gonna stop right there. It's actually $1,600,327.63 to be exact, on 10% compound, assuming a 10% compound growth. All right, so once again, last time we talked about, John said, you know what, John Jr. said, I think I'm gonna put a little bit more each month because parents done the heavy lift, and I got $42,784.54. I'm gonna do $250 on top of that into my Roth IRA for the next 38 years, assuming a 10% rate of return. Now you got $2,692,457.93. Okay, he's got $1 million more if he decides to do another $3,000 a year, basically, for the next 38 years. Okay. The other option that we have is this. This is a beauty of it. I didn't cover this last time, which I want to cover. So he still has after he's rolled the $35,000 over either way, whichever one he chooses to do, or these choose to continue to contribute or not at the age of 22, and that money that should be still in his 529 college investment account, $159,597.11. That's still left in his 529 college savings account, as they deem it. I say investment because it's an investment. Still tax-free money. Let's say, for instance, he doesn't use all that money. He can now, when he has a child, he can roll that money over into his child's. This is wealth building, generational wealth building here that people don't think about because everybody wants to spend everything right now. No one thinks about any future generations, especially in the Black community. We're the consumer culture. We just spend every dime we get, regardless how much we make. We just spend every dime we get. So we got to start thinking on a different level of delayed gratification on some things. We're not saying live scarcity mindset, but we're saying, hey, we need to be a part of the investor culture and no longer just the consumer culture. Let's invest some for the next generations to come. We love our folks. We say we love them. And then when they pass away, it's like, okay, they're trying to do a GoFundMe at the funeral. And we're not talking about building. Well, we're just talking about trying to get somebody's body in the ground. No, we got to change it. So anyway, so John Jr.'s got this $159,000 basically. We're just going to round it up to $160,000 just left in his cost. Say, for instance, he on a full ride scholarship. So he just rolls this money over. And I will tell you that the max that you can have in a 529. So he's rolled this over to now his child. And remember, grandparents did everything. Grandparents did all the heavy lifting. All he's doing is going off the compound growth. That's the beauty of compound interest, because Einstein said compound interest is the eighth greatest wonder in the world. So the most you can have in a 529 in some states, the max is $235,000. In other states, is $550,000. So I don't know if you can roll the money over again, but once that money is rolled over to whoever's name, that beneficiary, they have 15 years before they can start the process in current law to start the process of getting that money rolled over into the Roth IRA. All right, family, we'll talk to you later.